Okay.
Howdy. Oh, man. What's up? I'm going to make me big. Yeah, there it is. Mr. Chris can sit over there for a little while. He'll be right back. How's everybody doing tonight? Y'all doing good? I kind of wish that I can hear you guys. So moments like this when I'm all by myself, I can hear what's going on. So you might be saying to yourself, Self, what is tonight's show going to be about? Well, we got some listener questions. We have some requests for a couple things. We also are going to talk about a couple things going inside Disney and including the Disney store. So we got a fun-packed episode here today. As our week is halfway over. Super exciting. And there he is, singing in the background. He doesn't know he's on screen. He has absolutely no idea.
It's showtime. It's showtime. Oh, hi.
Yeah, he still doesn't realize it, huh? No,
I don't realize what.
See if he knows this. You're not on screen. It was just me. Hey, no one wanted to see creepy Lotso anymore, right, people?
Lotso still smells like strawberries, everybody.
That's because that's a modern marvel right there.
Okay, fine. We'll do Figment next time.
Dude, house princess training. Yeah.
What was doing half princess training? Me running up the stairs?
This is me changing the channel. That's how my training's going. Give my thumbs a workout. Oh man.
Look at Danny's hands. It's like all these fingers here are like really small, but his thumb is like huge.
Oh, geez, Louise, pumpkin and cheese.
Where do you get the whole pumpkin and cheese bit? Seriously.
I don't know. My mom always said I don't know where you get pumpkin and cheese. Well, I guess they kind of would go together in a roundabout way. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. All right. Let's see. We're gonna open that up. We got to open up this. Too many things.
I gotta open that thing up too.
Yeah. While you're opening, I'll start reading. We're gonna start the show off like we always do. It's commercial time. First up. Fantastic Memories Travel. You planning on going on a cruise? Maybe you want to take a fancy trip to Europe. Or maybe you want to just go pick some oranges in Florida and not bother with Disney. Well, contact Fantastic Memories Travel. They can take care of all of that fun stuff. But let's be real, you all are Disney fans and you want to go to Disney. So inside the Fantastic Memories Travel, there is a little group called the Mouse Master Travel Group. And those mouse agents love to take care of the stressful parts of your vacation planning. Like, I don't know, booking fast passes when the fast pass system goes down, getting those ADRs at 4 a.m. when you want to be sleeping. So, you can sit back and enjoy, have a nice adult cocktail, or maybe just maybe you want to have a nice cup of coffee. But you can visit them out at mousemastertravel.com. But while you're there, don't forget to tell them Behind the Ears podcast sent you. So you've got your bookings done with Mouse Master Travel, and now you're just reviewing it. What better way to just review that in the early morning, right before you got to go to work? Drink a nice cup of coffee. Now, yeah, you can go to 7-Eleven or Wawa, your local your local grocery store, and get some generic brand coffee. But what happens if I can bring you bold, delicious coffee that reminds you of Disney? That's right. That's Trader Sam's Coffee Company. They are the artisanal roaster of the specialty Disney-inspired coffees. So why not brew some of that magic at your home? They have, some of their famous ones. They have Skipper's Brew, Ghoulish Delight. They have a Tiki Coconut, a Red-Headed Rum, I also got the bobsled, which is the brownie, the Matterhorn bobsled. Right? Yeah, brownie. It's so good. It's delicious. All their coffees are certified gluten and allergen free, and all their artwork is awesome artwork by guest artists. And they have a big surprise coming out October 1st. So, keep your eye out for that. Trader Sam's, they offer an adventure in every bag. So they want you to start your adventure off the next morning by visiting them simply at TraderSam'sCoffee.com. While you're there, like always, let's save you guys some money. Since you guys are all behind the ears podcast listeners, be sure to take advantage of the exclusive offer. Save 20% off of your first purchase with promo code EARS20, EARS20. That's 20% off your first order. Brew your happy place. MickeyMonthly.com brings you a surprise box of Disney goodies directly from the parks for a low cost of packages starting at only $7. Now you might say, Uncle Danny, what comes in that package? Well, guess what? Here's the best part. You can curate your own custom packages from Disney trading pins, Main Street snacks, even park merchandise. So you can cure that withdrawal today by heading over to MickeyMonthly.com. But before you hit that checkout button, make sure you put in our promo code to save yourself a whopping 35% off your first box with our promo code RADIO35. That's RADIO 35. So you've got your book, you got your trip plan for Master Travel, you got your coffee from Trader Sam's, your box is on its way from Mickey Monthly. What's next? Hop on that computer and go watch some of the Streaming the Magic tours. And maybe you're like, wow, this is great. I want more of it. Well, I've got an option for you. For $5 a month, you could become a VIP member. You get exclusive streams only for VIP members, and you get a special and intimate show once a week with Behind the Ears podcast. That's me and him. And that happens usually every Thursday night where we take all your questions and we answer them on a more in-depth level, I'll call it. So are you a VIP member yet? What are you waiting for? Head on over to Streaming the Magic and start yours today. Streaming the Magic proudly brings to you Behind the Ears podcast. Hump Day. That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, I was not expecting that.
It is the Behind the Ears podcast. I'm Uncle Danny, the man tapping on the other side of the glass. That's your new thing now. You're tapping on the other side of the glass. I love it. That is Mr. Chris. Sir, how are you doing on a fantastic Wednesday evening?
What's up, everybody? Doing well. Doing really pretty good. How are you doing, man?
Yeah, I feel like this week went by kind of quick and then kind of slow. I know it's Wednesday, super excited, but then I was like, oh man, why does it seem like it's going by so slow? But I'm excited to be back in the studio. We got a fun little show here. According to Brian, he is here and we may begin now. So Brian, thank you for that permission. Not just, I love when you guys mess around with us. We have a blast with that. We got a couple things. I was saying in the pre-show. We're going to talk a little Disney store. We're going to talk a couple mishaps inside Disney. And then we have a couple listener questions. So let's start with what seems to be what broke the internet today. And it seems to be what broke the sign in all intentions were for that. If you haven't seen what I'm talking about yet, I'm sure you all have. You're all intelligent people. Someone decided to order a new sign. And great and dandy we like when new shiny things come in. Well, everything was looking good until one average person just driving down the road was like, wait a minute, there's something different about that sign. Yes, they spelled Epcot wrong. So there's that. How'd they spell it? EPOCT?
Yes. Yeah, it was slightly dyslexic in between two letters. It was switched. And I got to be honest with you. When, the first version of the picture that I saw, it was like, what's wrong? The caption was kind of like, what's wrong with this picture? And I'm looking at a couple of the other pictures and then finally get to the one that's right sized, one that I could actually see. And it was kind of funny because I'm like, wait, what is wrong with that picture? Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. EPOCT. Mm-hmm. And, this was from what I understand, it was a sign that was replaced that got damaged that got damaged from Hurricane Irma. And Yeah, if there's one thing that Disney fans are, they're not very forgiving. Not with something like that just has a lot of shareability. And I'm sure that Facebook group admins out there all over the place just, all of a sudden had to watch out because I'm sure people put that all over the place. I did laugh. I laughed my butt off. And, but, I could only imagine what happened. And I actually felt a little bad because, somebody got their butt chewed out today, and that's never a good feeling. I don't wish that upon anybody. That's just me, though.
But here's the thing. There's no way to know if it was Disney who messed it up, or was it with the actual printer who made the sign. But the thing is, think about it's such a small thing. They literally just flip-flop letters. So I don't really want to come down on anybody. It was more funny than anything else. But realistically, that a lot of people saw that and nobody caught on to it. Think about how many people have to see that sign go up during a construction thing.
Yeah, it's kind of so many people, up to the point where it's mounted above the traffic. And it was the first thing. It was the top line of the sign. And how many people actually saw it? Now, unless for some reason somebody was playing a joke, right? Not a very good one, if I may add. In fact, I'll even go ahead and say, I think, what was it? At one angle of a picture I saw, it almost looked like the letters were, I don't want to say colored differently, but it seemed almost like, how sometimes if you take a sticker and you peel it off and you try to put it back on somewhere else, and it kind of just never looks right the same way. At one angle that someone posted, and it wasn't the one that really got viral, but it kind of looked like that. And, at the same time, someone could have easily have, since C and O look almost alike, someone could have even goofed around a little bit by cutting a piece of one out of the other and sticking it on, and maybe just no one noticed it as they put it up.
I know a lot of people were saying, well, where did this happen? What was going on? This was as of Wednesday's afternoon. The sign was still up. It was located over on Western Way near Buena Vista Boulevard. Basically, if I would give you a rough geographic estimate of where that would be like Coronado Springs area.
Oh, is that where it was? I didn't catch the location.
So, I feel bad because I know somebody's getting chewed out for that, and it's such a simple thing, but the problem is a lot of people saw it because it's not like one person saw it and reported it and they fixed it. I mean, there was different angles of this sign. So it wasn't like one person was snapping it. There was multiple people stopping. And even like Brian said, Brian went to go look for it. So now you have people down there going to look for it. So there was a lot of traffic looking for that sign.
But here's the other part. How many people drove past that sign and didn't notice it? That's what I want to know.
A lot. I would have driven right past it. I never would have noticed.
But that's the point. It's like, only a certain amount of people really notice it. I mean, how many times have you, read something totally wrong? But in your mind's eye, it said one thing, but then, it was really another. I've done that too. We were joking about the other day how for the longest time I called the ABC commissary the ABC commissionary. Don't ask me why. It's just for some reason that's how it interpreted in my head. But that's just one of those things. Let's see.
So I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I wanted to touch on something else because I don't really want to harp on that. I feel bad because now I didn't really think about it from a business aspect, but now I'm like, oh man, someone really might have lost their job, if not just got severely chewed out.
I hope it was. I hope that wasn't the case. It was a mistake. It happened.
Did you happen to see that the Tomorrowland Speedway put up the photo booth kiosk next to it? where you can create your very own driver's license. It's a plastic driver's license, and it costs $5, and it prints in seconds. And they also receive a digital copy of their photo pass from the My Disney Experience.
Oh, really? It was kind of funny because my son actually got one of those back when there was a similar kiosk over at Test Track back in the original Test Track. But that is kind of cool. It's a cute. You know what it is? It's a cute $5 souvenir, and my son still has his.
I'm gonna get one because it's just I am a sucker for stupid novelty things like that. Because you know what it is? Think about it. All right, $5 when you're at Disney. Really, what is $5? It's a Mickey Premium ice cream bar. That's what in the real world, $5 might have a little more weight, but in Disney, $5 is like $1. Really, when you want to look at money, so my thing is, if you grab that for $5, even if it sits in a drawer somewhere, as long as it doesn't somehow get thrown out, think about the memories you could turn around and be like, oh my God, you remember when I got that? You show your kids, your grandkids, like it's just something because eventually this is going to go away because it's going to be cool in the beginning, and then it's going to go down. People aren't going to want to do it anymore. It's going to become a novelty thing. Remember the dog tags? When that was like the big rave, everybody was wearing dog tags, was getting personalized.
My son, every year, one of the big things that he wanted to do was to get a personalized dog tag of sorts, and we didn't mind doing it because it'd have his name, and we would also put our phone number on there, so it kind of acted a little bit as a a security thing, just in case for some reason, he got separated from us when he was really young. But he loved it. I mean, one of his first ones had Pluto on it. Get it, Pluto, dog tag. And but yeah, I mean, and those were not all that expensive, and he loved it. He still has them.
Yeah.
So
did you? This is not. I don't know why I laughed. That was not what I was intending. Now I'm just laughing. Something weird. Okay. Did you see? They came out with a rough estimate what Port Canaveral damages after Hurricane Irma. What it's going to look like?
No, I didn't. What did they say?
Just shy of $3 million.
$3 million?
Mm-hmm.
For port, just the port.
Just Port Canaveral.
Oh my gosh, that is actually quite impressive. I didn't realize that. That was the first I've heard of that. So they really got slammed.
Well, here's the thing: is half of that, 1.5 million of it, is being directed toward the restoration of State Road 528's eastbound lanes.
What happened with them?
I guess they got destroyed. It looks like another large cost. I'm just kind of going through their spreadsheet as I'm reading this. Another large cost looks like damages to Terminal 8. Which happens to be where the Disney Cruise Line is.
Well, if you look at,
but they were superficial though.
Well, yeah, but I mean the Disney Cruise Line port, from what I remember, it's been a few years since I've been there, and I don't have any pictures in front of me. It's a really beautiful port. There's a lot of glass, and it's really cool looking for a port. It looks more like an airport terminal than it does a cruise line terminal, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So,
well, here's a fun tip. The lost revenue between one of the Royal Caribbean ships and two of the Disney cruise ships coming to that port resulted in the port losing $400,000, which technically was factored into the cost.
Port fees.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that port lost out on $400,000. But they, and this is the crazy part. You hear $3 million and you're like, wow, that's a lot of money. Do you know, and this was a more powerful storm than Hurricane Matthew. Hurricane Matthew cost them $3.2 million.
Wonder what the big difference was.
I don't know either. Maybe after all the work they did after fixing Hurricane Matthew, maybe things were a little bit in better shape when Irma came through.
Yeah. They enhance things as they fix things.
Yeah, maybe. It wasn't Aladdin Cup, by the way.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, Port Canaveral. I mean, it's a big cruise line. What did I say?
No, someone was asking.
Oh,
it was the Lemon Sisters. Hey.
I thought I said something else. Since they serve a lot of different cruise lines. I mean, it's a big, gigantic port. People would think, oh, it's just they serve Disney and this. And no, they serve a lot of different ships. It's actually quite amazing to see all the ships there at certain times, but also most times that I'm over there. You usually only see the Disney ship and maybe one or two others, but there's many, many ports. They're just not. You just don't see ships there all the time.
Yeah. Real quick, I saw people saying, what port we talked about. We were talking about Port Canaveral. That was an Aladdin Cup, and Brandy wants to know about the mugs. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. I don't want to get into that right now. I do want to get into what seems to be a very touchy topic, but we're seeing more and more of it happen in our society. But it's sad when we're seeing it turn into Disney. A woman was arrested after leaving her 2-year-old girl was found alone in a vehicle parked at the Grand Floridian in the cast member parking lot. And this is coming directly from the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and Walt Disney World Security found the toddler alert and conscious in the car, thank God, with the windows cracked. The child was taken to Celebration Hospital, where she's in stable condition. The woman who was arrested was a 37-year-old woman, and is the child's caregiver, and was charged with child neglect. This woman is a cast member, was a cast member, who worked as a housekeeper at the Grand Floridian and was a member of the girl's family. The woman had been asked to watch the girl while her mother was in labor and had stopped at the resort to ask for the afternoon off. According to the arrest report, the child was crying and sweating profusely inside the locked car, which had reached 113.5 degrees inside the car. The woman said she had only meant to be gone for 5 minutes, but the child was left alone for approximately 30 to 45 minutes. She did post bail and was released on $1,000 bail.
Wow. I mean, okay, let's just talk here for a second. This is not just a Disney thing. And I know that, most people have the absolute best intentions. I don't think anybody really intends on leaving their child or children in the car, especially with the windows up, especially an infant.
Well, they were cracked. I do need to say they were cracked.
But everybody's been talking about how hot it's been in Central Florida over the past week or so, and I can't imagine how hot it will still get, even with the windows cracked. I mean, I leave the windows cracked in my car sitting in the driveway all the time. And, it could be 80 degrees outside. I'll turn on the car and the indoor temp says it's 104. And that's like with my sunroof partially open, with my windows cracked open at the same time in the sun. And as I said, an 80-degree day, a day that normally you wouldn't consider to be overly hot. If nothing else, it's a reminder for everybody else. Please be very careful in making sure you do not, forget your kids. I know that sounds kind of silly, but it does happen legitly without any negative malice or anything like that. Just be careful. And, for this particular person, using this person's example, I'm sorry. I feel sorry for her. I'm sure she feels horrible about it. If you have to run an errand, bring the child in with you. Even if it's going to be for 5 minutes, the temperature could rise really, really super fast, or something could happen to you. So I agree, Danny. It's an avoidable situation. I'm glad this had a happy ending for at least the child. Unfortunately for the caregiver, that's not going to be easily overlooked. I know that. Law enforcement and related people are like really taking these types of situations very, very seriously.
To touch on that, on the next subject, maybe the name Lane sounds familiar to you. Well, that was the little boy from Nebraska who was tragically killed in Disney back in 2016. Disney did erect the statue of the lighthouse in memory of him. Well, his family's back in the news today. All good. Don't worry. It's nothing bad. The husband and wife's name is Melissa and Matt, excuse me. So Melissa and Matt, they created this foundation in honor of their beautiful boy Lane in order to do something positive for other families. Basically, they have found an impactful way for them to help others in similar circumstances and ease some of the burdens of these parents can focus on their child. The foundation aims to ease financial burdens associated with transplant cases, such as transportation, lodging, and food, as well as educate others about the importance of organ donation and research. Graves said that he promised his son after his death that he would turn the family's tragedy in for good with others. 15 families have already benefited from the financial support from the foundation.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's really good. I mean, quite honestly, I know it's not, this particular topic isn't, all Disney related outside of that, but I myself am an organ donor, and it's one of those things where it's like, hey, I'm not going to be able to use it after I die. I might as well have some use of it. And then when they're done, donate my body to science fiction.
I want to do that. My family keeps freaking out when I say that because obviously, I'm younger still, and no, there really is no good time to really have that conversation. It really doesn't matter the age.
There isn't. I mean, my wife and I have talked about it, and my wife and I have talked about it, and so on, and so on and so forth, and it's creepy to think about it at times, but you know what? It's on my driver's license. My wife knows about it. My kids know about it. Somebody ought to be able to benefit from something. So I think, organ donation is one of the best things that anybody can do. I know people have their own opinion on it. That's wonderful. I certainly respect all opinions on, such a very personal topic. So, so be it. But I'm glad to hear that they're going to turn the tragedy into something that's going to give some pretty solid awareness to a very important topic.
Yeah, New Jersey is really simple. You literally just check the box on your license.
Oh, wow. I know for us, when you get your renewal is when you do it. You can go ahead and check the box and so on and so forth. And then it shows up on your license as donor yes.
Victoria, I think you're just a little misunderstood of the story of how that little boy, we're not going to get into that, but don't think that people just sat on the shoreline and did absolutely nothing. There is numerous counts that father and mother were desperately looking for him. So please, don't think that they just kind of turned their back and they could. I mean, there's a lot more to that story. If you want to go Google it and research it, there's a lot in that story. Please just don't think that everybody just kind of sat back and did nothing. But let's turn it to a little bit fun for the ladies here. And you know what? For the men too. And not an aspect of us using these products, but it is in the aspect of buying for our women. Soon you'll be able to shop for new Coach purses while you're on your Disney vacation. And some of you might be like, the last thing I want to do is buy a Coach purse while I'm on vacation. Here's the thing. I agree. But on the other hand, think about this logically. Disney Springs is going to have exclusive Disney content that only the Disney Springs store is going to have. Up in New Jersey, we have great outlets, Coach stores. I love buying my mom, my sister, their Coach purses. Now, if I can go to Disney Grand, you're going to pay a premium. But this is going to be pretty cool.
You're going to pay full retail. That's basically what it is. You're going to pay full retail for that particular product. But yeah, I agree with you. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I kind of walked away.
Oh, no. That's really all I had to say is just simply, I think it's going to be great. You're going to pay full retail, but it's going to be exclusive stuff. I will put dollars to donuts that there's going to be some exclusive stuff.
Well, okay. My wife is not a Coach fan, but she thinks they look cool.
Your wife's a Dooney.
She's a Dooney. Right? Yeah, she collects Doonies.
Same concept, though. They have exclusive content only inside the Disney parks compared to an actual Dooney store or online.
Oh, yeah, you can't. Well, let's put it this way. I've been to a Dooney store. I did not, with my wife at one time. No, we were not able to see any Disney Dooney stuff. She either gets her stuff through DisneyStore.com because the Disney store is up. Well, I'll say right now you can only get it online. We'll touch on that in a second, and then, or she'll be able to get them at Walt Disney World when she visits. It really kind of depends on, when something comes out is really the big deal, because if something comes out, especially if it's something brand new, there's a lot of people that want to get it like right when it comes out. So although, like example, the new pattern for Bambi just came out for Dooney, and I asked my wife, I go, is that something that interests you? She's like, no, I've got enough. It's a very pretty purse, but I'm not a huge fan of it. And this, and I'm like, okay, fine. Which goes to show you can still collect things and be just discerning as to which ones you get too. So I can understand that.
Brandon,
the Coach one. I was gonna say the Coach one. That's the one that it's the Coach bag, but it has like ears on the bag, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, I'm not a fan of that. To me, it looks cheesy. I did see a girl, though, and then it became popular online. She had high heels on, and it had the ears on the back of the high heels. That was pretty ingenious. All right, when Chris comes back, I can ask him that one question. There he is. Brandon would like to know, what's your wife think of those Small World Doonies? My wife is in love with it.
I'm trying to think if she has that one. And she's in the other room right now, and I tend to leave her alone while I'm recording here. I think she saw it and she thought it was really cool looking, but she just bought the Food and Wine one with Figment. So she's like, for her, what was it? She just has a certain budget she allows herself. I know she said she thought it looked cool, but she wanted the Figment one better. She wanted that one more. She liked it better. That's why.
Okay. You should take a picture of that, because I don't think I've seen that one.
I'll have, maybe, the other day we had a mug thread over at the Disney Community Facebook page, and maybe I'll have to start the one for, what's your favorite Disney inspired purse? Because here's the deal. I'm not saying Dooney or Coach specifically, because Disney's got some really cool looking purses. Now I know I'm a guy, right? And I'm talking about how cool purses are. I see how much my wife loves them, and I've got to get behind something like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some of them really do look cool. And I think it's really kind of, it's really kind of neat.
I agree with Brandon here. I have to see this Figment one. I really got to see this, because that's got to be unique, man.
Okay. Hold on a second. I'm going to go on mute here for a second.
You go mute. I put him big screen. So while he goes and gets his wife's purse, that's a sentence I swore I never thought I'd be uttering on this show. Let's talk about the testing began for Slinky Dog Dash roller coaster. And you guys know I've been a big hater on this, and seems to be a more family-friendly roller coaster. No big drops, doesn't seem to be high speed. There's some nice little wicked turns, though, as this ride is being built and starting to be assembled. But reportedly, the Slinky Dog Dash coaster will be one of the major attractions inside the upcoming Toy Story Land, which will be located at MGM, and has begun its safety testing. This ride vehicle was spotted on the track, which seems to confirm that the ride is working through its operational acceptance testing. While there's clearly a lot of progress on Toy Story Land, it's still some time until any guests get to ride this attraction. It was announced earlier at the D23 Expo, which obviously was held out in Anaheim this past summer, that Toy Story Land will open next summer. And I think I've got Mr. Chris back here. Let me put him back up on the screen.
Well, I just made my son very upset because I didn't realize that he was sleeping. And when I yelled for my wife, I woke him up.
He's so mad.
Yeah, I didn't realize what time it was, which is, anyway, we'll just leave it at that. Here is the one from the Food and Wine Fest. I believe it was Food and Wine Fest. Here, let's see. There's like
super Figment-y.
No, it's not. And this is, I was wrong. This is not just Figment. Like example, there's Figment. And then, of course, her favorite is Monorail. Then, of course, this is Flower and Garden. I'm sorry, because there is Minnie.
Okay.
Like that type of thing. But what she also really liked about it, and I didn't realize this, but with Dooney's, it's all about the placement. And for her, it's like, here's the Dooney badge and how it looks, making sure there's no real overlap between the badge and the different print type of thing. But no, this is one of hers that she has type of thing. And I think I also woke up my wife as well to do this. So you guys better be so glad that I sacrifice my family for the purpose of entertaining all of my friends here on the show.
Oh, dang.
What was that? I didn't see that.
Oh, dang. Why couldn't I be a woman? You know what? I thought the same thing, but I wasn't going to say it. But I was like, wow, that's actually really, I'd wear a shirt of that. Like, that was
it really is cool. She also has, a Flower and Garden shirt that has Figment on it, which, I can go ahead and say, I pretty much love anything that's Figment, with the exception of, I wasn't a fan of that Pop Funko Figment that someone posted. I just didn't like it. I'm sorry. It was the eyes. The eyes looked like it was from The Shining or something like that. It was really creepy looking. But I'll let everybody know that you're all, appreciative of her effort. I didn't look at the time. I'm such a bad husband. I am going to get tomorrow. I'm going to catch holy crap from my son. I'm going to say, hey, John, how'd you sleep last night? Well, I probably did fine until someone woke me up doing a show.
You're gonna walk. He's gonna walk in the door tomorrow, just the old Bam Margera style, and just start throwing things at you. I can't say the name of the show, so I had to go with his name.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. So anyway,
good. Yeah. Let's answer some questions we had in here. Chris and Danny, have you seen the Van shoes that have the Disney characters on them? Yes, I actually have the Toy Story ones with Buzz Lightyear, and it's actually one Buzz Lightyear and all the aliens. I will tell you this. They're the most uncomfortable shoes I have ever worn in my life. There's no breaking these shoes in. Okay.
No, I never was able to wear Vans just because I have no arch support.
No, it's terrible. And they're gorgeous shoes. They're a little bit narrow, but okay, no big deal. I wore them on me and Alex's first date. And we're walking to Disney Springs, and I stopped. And she's like, what's wrong? I was like, this is going to be stupid. But I had to fold down the backs of the shoes so I can walk like they were slip-ons. Because they were tearing my ankle up, just tearing that whole back, and I knew I had more days to walk, so I was like, I had blister. I was like, and I never get blister. I was so mad, but they're so cool looking. So I recommend, if you're like me and you might be a big baby like I am, and you want to get these because they're dope looking, I agree. Just wear them when you're not having to walk a lot. Maybe you're sitting down a lot. Wear them on that day.
Dude, it kind of goes along with the question that you see often, what are the best shoes to wear at Disney? And I always say, what are the best shoes for you to wear at Disney? Don't ask me what works for me, because some people wear Vans and they're like, oh, they're the most comfortable things. Just like some people love Crocs, or some people love flip-flops or sandals,
That was one of the biggest things I always yell at Disney about. They came out with those slip-on.
Well, just remember, everybody, we really love to show product here anytime we possibly can. I don't know what he's going to show, but
I buy a lot of Disney stuff, but I try to buy practical Disney stuff. So Disney came out a long time ago with these.
Yeah, I love those things.
They're just super canvas shoes. They're lightweight. They breathe very nicely, but inside they're Crocs, and I don't like Crocs. And I used to like this tag right here. Says Crocs at Disney. I bought 2 pairs of these. The women's, they're a little bit different. They look like this, but they're painted, and they've got Minnie on the front. It's all like sewn in, though. They've got, my camera's getting all. Woo! I have no idea what's going on. The women have the Minnie on it, the Mickey on it, but the men's were just these plain with the very small Mickey right there. Am I blurry to you?
Yeah, but I could be hungry. But that's okay. So, I mean, that's kind of cool. I mean, but people always ask about that, and I always wondered about, people who wear Vans, because they look like they don't have any support. But some people love them. Some people are great. That and Converse.
No, you see how thin those shoes are and everything. I've walked 40 miles at Disney in those shoes, and my feet are perfectly fine.
I may have to look into that. I've seen those.
They don't sell them anymore.
Crocs. Oh crap!
They haven't sold them in years.
But they were Crocs.
They were Crocs. And you can find them on eBay. But
I'm not gonna.
No, brand new. They're brand new on eBay, but their markup is ridiculous. And you know how Disney's some of the things when they have inventory there. My mom called. Animal Kingdom supposedly had them. It was back in March. I go into Animal Kingdom. I went to every store with Soto. Every store looking for the shoes. My mom gave me money to buy them as a birthday present for myself. No, we haven't had them in years. My mom had talked to somebody the 3 days before I was there and said, yeah, we still have them in his size. I think they must have mixed something up. They thought you saw something else. I don't know. But I got so sad when I found out they discontinued them.
That's a bummer. I mean, because, once you find something you really like, yeah. It's hard to figure that out.
Chris and Danny, have you picked your Halloween costumes?
I don't do Halloween costumes.
I'm still working on mine. Obviously,
I will usually wear some kind of Disney shirt, and I'll usually wear the my ears that light up. But I'm sitting outside handing out candy, out by the fire eating homemade jambalaya.
Yeah, that sounds good. Actually, okay, I'll give away a little secret. So when I moved down to Florida and everything, me and Alex were talking about like traditions that our families like to do and how me and her are going to incorporate things when I'm down there. And I want to start a new tradition. But now this is years down the line. I need kids to do this because it would just seem weird if I just do it myself. But like when the kids are old enough and you send them off into the neighborhood by themselves to go trick-or-treating and you have all the parents over, right, and just hanging out, I want to have a barbecue outside because up in Jersey, sometimes you could be outside, sometimes it's snowing. You don't know what the end of October is going to bring you.
Very true statement.
So I want to have a big barbecue, and I want to call it Happy Halloweeny and grill hot dogs. And just have like a little barbecue at night, and hand out candy to the kids, and have the parents have adult beverages and kick back on some chairs and have a nice little Happy Halloweeny.
Happy Halloweeny.
Oh man, how awesome is that?
I like it. I think it's actually really cool. But I'll stick to my homemade jambalaya. After I make it, I'll post a recipe out there at the community page because it's really good. And also, I make it low carb.
Oh man, we have our nice little conversation in here going on about which shoes to wear at Disney. Teresa want to know, for the Mickey's Not So Scary, do you really need a Halloween costume? No, no, you don't. There's no requirements as you need to. I think if you're going to spend that money, embrace it. Really do something. I see plenty of people who are not dressed up, and I see people who go above and beyond. I was there when my sister got married in 2012, and one of my brother-in-law's groomsmen wore an astronaut costume with actual helmet and everything. It was still like 80 degrees that night. Ooh. I was like, I would not want to be that costume.
Ooh. It's kind of funny because it's like if you go to the Marvel store at Disney Springs, they have like a Captain America and an Iron Man costume for kids that's padded. So there's a lot of depth to it and stuff like that. And I'm like thinking to myself, I hope to goodness some kid doesn't try to wear this costume at Disney. Because it would turn into a sauna suit, the kind of suit that you wear to try to lose, 10 pounds of water weight. It just looked so uncomfortable. Yeah, not cool. Yeah, but you can, basically there are some rules that Disney has regarding costumes. And basically what it is this. Biggest rule is you can't be dragging on the ground, and you can't necessarily pose for pictures with, guests who are not a part of your party. You can't sign autographs. In other words, if you're going dressed up as Elsa, you can't pretend that you are Elsa, so to speak,
Yes.
In real life. If you can go ahead and have a great Merida costume, but you can't act like you are a Disney character signing costumes, signing autograph books or pictures or stuff like that. They really frown on that. So that's where they really draw the line.
Yeah, you can't, and there's like no like weapons of any kind. You
Right.
can't actually. Adults over, I think, over 13 cannot wear masks. There's a lot of restrictions. As time went on, they had to add more just rules and guidelines to it. I have never been to a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party that I didn't dress up, so I'm not going to start now, especially with Alex being as handy as we're gonna do something off the wall though. I promise you that, and that's the biggest problem is we know we have we don't want to just we're not going to go to the store and get a pirate costume. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just not me and our flavor. We're gonna go but we're trying to go unique though.
Well,
something where you got to be like,
as long as your pirate costume is not rated R. Sorry. Sorry.
So that is the best dad joke and the worst joke I've ever heard all mixed into one. Oh man.
Yeah, that's bad. Really
yeah, Brian said, the costumes so far at Disney were not fitting for the weather. They're cold weather outfits, but people wearing Pooh Bear costumes in 90-degree weather. The one year I did bring my chicken costume down, and I spent a lot of money on this chicken costume. And by hook or by crook, I was wearing that chicken costume. I didn't care how hot it was. I mean, you start to lose parts of your chicken costume as the night goes on, and I ended up just walking around like weird parts of the chicken was left on me, but it sometimes just gets way too hot. But as the night goes on, you can find your cooling spots. Peel
I want to
feathers off.
I want to say something. I want to say it. I'm not going to because no.
You snow wanna.
I just that's funny. But let's see.
Now you wanted to talk about the Disney store.
Yeah, I mean, the other day, people were kind of make mention that the Disney store is online. I should say, first and foremost, it's kind of like under a new site from what it looked like, and it's really revamped nicely. I really like how it looks. They've had the same kind of design for quite some time. But the news that I was hearing the most that actually kind of piqued my interest is that, they're going to try to revamp some of the stores, but it probably won't happen for a while. There's going to be some stores that are going to be, totally redone. And there's also going to be some stores that, are going to probably carry some more adult things and items and things like that, more than just clothes and toys. And by the way, I'm going to go ahead and just say that, I'm reading this stuff off Facebook posts just like a lot of other people. I'm going to go ahead and say this. I'm glad to hear that they're making these changes, mainly because how many times have if you are lucky enough to be by a Disney store, a retail store in your local mall, you would really love to see some stuff from the parks there, or stuff other than clothes or toys. You as an adult would like to partake in some of those things, to have a wider adult selection instead of having to order it online. And it sounds like adult kids are going to finally get their wish after a period of time, after they test out some of the newly designed stores.
No, but what are they really going to be putting in there, though?
It was a little vague. Well, it was a little vague, but
okay.
The thing of it is that I can only imagine that if they're going to bring some stuff in from park, something that maybe parks, I won't say parks exclusive, but related to the parks, some things you can get at the parks that you could also get on Disney Store online. But I'm going to say this as a speculation, like what if they started carrying watches? I would go nuts over that. What if they started carrying, other things that were for adults, adult hats, for an example, or, adult costumes. or other things like that would be, the adults would actually want to go in there and buy themselves. Now, granted, I know that the Disney stores right now have been mainly, child centric. Yeah, they do have some adult shirts and coffee mugs and things like that in there. But it would be nice just to see the adults be able to have some fun. I really think it's a great idea because I think they're going to make a killing off of it. Adults want to go in there and buy stuff for their kids. They want to buy a shirt for themselves too.
We're seeing a couple things. Is Jen saying they're supposedly putting some Doonies in a couple of the stores?
It's possible. I wouldn't expect it in all the stores.
Here's the big one, and Brandon started it, and Trisha backed it up. A lady at the Disney store told my wife that Pilot stores have a live streams of the park shown in there. I don't know if it's true or not, but Trisha came right back with they're going to live stream parades and such too inside the stores.
Yeah, and I've heard that. Actually, I heard that a while ago, not too long ago, but before this particular announcement, that they were going to live stream some of those things. And that actually would be kind of cool to see what would happen, or how is Disney going to actually do that. And it probably won't happen at all the stores. Great example. Downtown Chicago has 2 Disney stores, one on State Street, one on Michigan Avenue. I think it's there State Street and Michigan Avenue. I know one's on Michigan Avenue. It's kind of funny. I walk downtown. I know where everything's at, but don't ask me where they're at because I just know where they're at. They're 2 entirely different stores in the sense of decorations, and one carries. They both carry a lot of the same overlapping things, but one will carry one thing while the other won't carry another. Now, it's been a couple of years since I've been downtown for that, but both of them are actually a little bit different than say my local Disney store is different. And actually, there's a lot of Disney stores that seem to be differing from one from another. I love to go to different Disney stores at different malls just to see how they compare with one another. But yeah, I mean, but you see my point though. Yeah, I'm lucky enough to have a Disney store.
They closed hours. Trish knows all about that.
Yeah, and and at the same time, it's like let's take the Dooney item for example. Selling stuff like that at a Disney store that has a good amount of traffic, that's going to bring in extra money, not just because of the Dooney itself, but because they're like, oh, I'm buying a Dooney, I might as well pick up some things for the kids too. So, just to answer John's question there about whether or not Disney owns the stores. Yes, Disney now owns Disney stores. The people that work, the cast members that work at the Disney stores are actual Disney cast members. And you are correct that a while ago, the Disney store was actually sold off to the Children's Place. And that was Disney basically bought them back to bring them back to life because the Children's Place, it was losing some focus there and stuff like that. So I'm glad they brought it back.
Yeah. It's so sad. I'll walk by because with my job, I happen to frequently pass the old Disney store on a daily basis. And you could still, they kept the floor tiling the same and that same rounded entrance. And it's some Lulu, rigmarole, whatever they're selling teeny bopper stuff in there. But I walk by and I'm like, oh, there used to be all the stuffed animals stacked up there. There used to be the TV with the fireworks everywhere. And I'm like, and now you're selling fanny packs and T-shirts. Oh, I was so sad.
Oh, I know. I mean, I love going to the Disney store. I do. And, and my kids do too. Just to go in and look around and stuff like that. Around Christmas, it's actually really super crazy in there. But, it's kind of cool. But yeah, it's kind of neat that they're going to see these changes both online, in the stores eventually. It really sounds like they've got something good planned for these stores. And I guess you could say the reason why I'm so excited about it is that for those that have a Disney store by you, you go by and it kind of helps you extend that Disney vacation feeling, so to speak. It gives you a little bit of a Disney buzz in between visits and stuff like that. So it's just one of those things.
You know, we're kind of running to that point where I would prefer not to go into our listener questions. I think we should kind of save them because now we're right at that 50 minute mark. I don't want to take one or two and ruin it. Yeah. So how about we do this tomorrow, Thursday show? If you remember, it is a shortened show. It's a shortened show because we have the VIP show. So we'll do our listener bank of questions tomorrow. But if you guys want to fire some stuff away,
rapid fire questions.
We can.
I'll go ahead and say this. I always love the idea of going to the Disney store. There's no other store at the mall that I really like to go to. It's as simple as that. I mean, it's just one of those things. I used to love. You used to love going to the mall when you were a kid. I don't like going to the mall now as an adult. It's as simple as that.
It's not the same thing. It's not the same anymore.
I mean, granted, back when I was a kid, I always really wanted to go to just kind of hang out with friends, go to Aladdin's castle to play video games. And that was about it. So, go figure.
Yeah, Jen goes to Disney store is dangerous. I work right across from one and have to fight temptation every day.
It's hard to say, I've got my paycheck and I must go to my car now. Do not sign this over to the Disney store. Don't do it.
just leave my wallet in there. First question, are y'all going to Disney anytime soon? I'll be there in less than 30 days for a whole whopping week. And now I know someone asked me this before. I didn't get to it. I do apologize. Will I be streaming while I'm there? Yes. A majority of the week, I'll try to pop on once or twice during the day. She actually wrote something very nice that she liked my streams and blah, blah, blah. You can go back and read it. I'm not going to pat myself on the back. I will do it frequently. While I'm with Alex, it might be quick. It might, depending on that. Now, that Thursday and Friday, which that's going to be November 2nd and the 3rd. I'm by myself. Uncle Danny is roaming Disney by himself. So the 2nd and 3rd, expect a lot of nonsense from me because I will be filming as much as I can. We also got asked before about mugs. If you guys saw, we're doing a flash sale. T-shirts start as low as $4. We've got stickers for $2. That's all. Just
T-shirts
simply go
$14. Don't say $14.
What I say $4? $14. Yeah. Stickers for $2. We got phone cases for all types of phones. Rigid, not rigid. T-shirts, sweatshirts, onesies. If you got some babies, put your babies in a Behind the Ears Podcast onesie. All different colors, sizes, shapes. That's all. Just go to BehindTheEarsPodcast.net. Now, the real question was about the mugs. We have a mug, coffee mug, and we have a tumbler. I'm not positive because I ordered a mug for myself. It has not come in because I literally just ordered it. I don't know, but I'm going to take a wild guess.
We all know when Uncle Danny takes a wild guess.
I'm going to take a wild guess that someone was asking about mug size and what it's going to be. I'm assuming you're talking about a simple mug size. Simple mug. I'm assuming that's what it's going to be, a simple mug with all red with our logo on it. Can't guarantee it. As soon as it comes in, I'll gladly let you know. Now, here's the only problem. If you say, hey, I don't know if I really want it, I'm going to wait until you show it to me. Great and dandy. It'll still be up there. It just won't be for sale. The sale ends in less than 24 hours. And depending on when you listen to this, the sale might be over. But yeah, that's that. Let's see. People are saying goodbye. Have a good one. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing really. What else you got? You got anything for me?
No, because, quite honestly, I was waiting for our listener questions, which we'll go ahead and save for our next show. It actually is going to be really kind of it'd be kind of cool. I got about 4 or 5 different questions that I think would start some really good conversations. So you're not going to want to miss our next episode.
No.
Yes.
Pins. If you ordered pins from last week, they went out today. So I would assume first class mail. If they're probably not going to technically count till tomorrow. But Yeah, I would say by Wednesday, if you don't get your pins and you ordered it and you got the email confirmation that we sent your pins out, which you should have got it tonight because I literally clicked the ship button for all of you tonight except one. If you got that email and said it was shipped and you don't get it by Wednesday, you need to contact us because we need to figure out what happened. But it's coming post office, so just check your mailbox. Make sure you wave to your mail person so they come to you first. Yeah, that's really all I could say. Dude, I just picked up the new Fort Wilderness scent. It smells like pine, but it's Disney pine.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, you're right. Michael does it. It's funny how the merchandise from the Disney store doesn't feel the same as the park original stuff. I get that. Yeah, just Megan, if you want, just simply shoot us a message on the side. Yes, good. So Jessica, prime example, she ordered it and she got the notification they shipped today. So Jessica, by Wednesday, let us know. All right, you know what? I don't think anybody else is going to be. Oh, let's see. Honestly, the only thing I've ever bought at the new style Disney stores is mugs and T-shirts. I already have a ton of them and don't plan on buying anymore. See, I'm always buying mugs and T-shirts, though.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, I love T-shirts, Disney T-shirts. I wish more of them came 3X.
I don't like the way the Disney T-shirts are made, though.
What do you mean?
I don't like. I feel like their necks are really big. Like I've got some shirts where there is no reason the necks should be as big as they are, and I've
never had that problem.
All right, talk for a second.
I've never had that problem, but then again, I've got a thick neck, so obviously he's going to go get a shirt to kind of show me what is going on, which is really awesome because this is the kind of interactivity that we always get. So, but it's just one of those things. The thing is that Brian, you're thinking that you say that they're so cheap. Most of my shirts that actually have lasted the longest have come from Disney. That's the funny part. Okay.
So, that is the Goofy golf shirt, right?
Yeah.
Nice shirt. Super nice.
Yeah. Oh, big neck.
What is this? It's got a turtleneck underneath. What do I do with this? And I wear undershirts as a man. I do. I'll admit it. I always wear a white T-shirt under a T-shirt. Do you know how stupid it looks when I've got a full finger's length of a T-shirt hanging out? Normally, all you'll see is the brim of my shirt hanging out. And I'm a heavier set man. I'm Italian. We always wear shirts under our shirts. This is absurd. I've got 7 great Disney shirts that are complete waste for me.
Okay. Well, there you go. Fashion Sense by Uncle Danny coming to you live from the Behind Ears podcast. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I just wear my shirts differently. I don't know. Whatever. So cool. Anyway. But I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up like a nice present.
Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. Facebook is Behind the Ears Podcast. Instagram is Behind the Ears Podcast. And Twitter is Behind the Ears PC because Twitter doesn't like to let me use more than 15 characters because they want to be snoots about it. If you want to send us any listener questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to email us at behindtheearspodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to purchase any of the Behind the Ears Podcast exclusive t-shirts or logo wear, please simply visit behindtheearspodcast.net and click on the shop button. Don't forget, this is important. Join the Disney Facebook community. Trisha will hound you if you don't, so do it. You don't want Trisha after you. No, she won't come after you, but it's a fun site to be a part of. And lastly, from me, don't forget to like and rate us over on iTunes. I know it sounds crazy, but it sounds superficial. But at the end of the day, this is what helps these shows grow. And the bigger we grow, the more recognition we get. The more recognition we get, the more sponsors we get in, the more things we can do for you guys. So with that being said, I am Uncle Danny. It has been a pleasure talking to you here all on Hump Day. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I'm signing out. And goodbye.
And I'm Mr. Chris. Thanks everybody for joining us. It's been wonderful talking with everybody tonight. And while you're liking and reviewing, don't forget to subscribe over at iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, or whatever really cool, awesome podcast catcher you use. Because that way you get everything delivered without even thinking about it. Oh, yeah. But until we meet again, We hope that you have a wonderful day. Take care.